Tonight, concern in Canada, some international students are staying illegally. A rabid bat is found in a Glencairn neighborhood. And the trial continues for the last person charged in Megan Gallagher's death.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Saskatchewan is seeing an uptick in reports of rabid bats with the latest confirmed case in Regina. On Monday, the Veterinary Mobility Center confirmed a bat with rabies was detected in the Glencairn area of the city, urging the public and pet owners to keep their shots up to date. As of the end of September, there have been 18 rabid bat cases recorded across the province this year. Saskatchewan Health Authority says the slight increase compared to last year could potentially just be due to people being more aware of rabid bats.
Because the bats are only tested based on what people submit. So maybe due to increased submission. So indeed, it may not necessarily mean that we're seeing more cases, but perhaps because we're testing more, we're seeing more.
The Saskatchewan Health Authority adds residents are encouraged to close any small holes in their homes that might allow bats to enter through. And although the risk of rabies in domestic animals in Regina is low, pet owners are recommending, once again, vaccinate your pets. The government of Saskatchewan and Creative Options Regina have opened a new supportive living home in the Queen City. The province is investing $429,000 in annual operating funding and has provided $1.2 million in capital funding. 4 individuals will live in this home and receive 24-hour support. Creative Options Regina is a charitable organization that develops personalized services for people with disabilities.
It's a place of belonging, and it's a place to support people to reach their full potential in our community. And I think what's magical about what we're building together is we're creating a community that's diverse and more inclusive and welcoming throughout various neighborhoods throughout Regina and across Saskatchewan.
Creative Options Regina operates 34 homes in the city for adults with intellectual disabilities. City of Regina is planning to apply for provincial disaster assistance funding over a major rainstorm last month. Pending approval from City Council Wednesday, the city is planning to apply for the Provincial Disaster Assistance Program over the storm that hit the city back on September 13th. The storm caused significant damage to properties across the city, and approximately about 50 millimeters of rain fell, causing major issues for the city's stormwater system. Well, the good news, Sabine, is while it is a little bit chillier than we would expect the season to be, no rain at least is falling.
Yet.
Excuse me?
The rain is coming. I'm sorry, I should have just said, you're right, Lee. There has been no rain. But yeah, I mean, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. But good news is not this work week. It's arriving over your Thanksgiving weekend. And I'll talk more about that coming up in the full forecast. But today was a great day. Yes, yesterday was chilly. Today, though, we saw those temperatures get into the 20s, especially for southern Saskatchewan. Very warm temperatures. And now on the radar satellite, not much to show you. No rain. So Lee is right. No rain, a little bit of cloud cover. But if we take a look at those current temperatures, like I said, very warm still, and actually all the way up into central Saskatchewan, even Prince Albert, seeing temperatures still within that seasonal range. This is not updated for today's high. Today's high actually is climbing up to about 20, 21 degrees. So very warm compared to that average of 14 degrees. We will see the 14 coming back, but I'll talk more about that in your full forecast. Lee?
Those little updates. In Saskatoon, the manslaughter trial of a man accused in the death of Megan Gallagher continued today. A recorded police interview was played in court. Laura Woodward has the details.
Roderick Sutherland told police his garage was used in the killing of 30-year-old Megan Gallagher. That's according to an interview with investigators that played out in court on the second day of his manslaughter trial. On August 5th, 2021, nearly a year after Gallagher's death, Sutherland went to police to voluntarily provide information on the case. He told investigators that he let his friend use his garage to question someone. When he returned to the garage, Sutherland said Gallagher was dead, tied to a chair and covered in a tarp. Sutherland said he didn't realize the woman was Gallagher until later when he saw her missing person pictures. He told officers he never saw injuries on on Gallagher or any blood in the garage. Court heard Gallagher's body was placed in a truck and thrown over a bridge into the South Saskatchewan River. Sutherland has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter, unlawful confinement, and offering an indignity to human remains. His jury trial is scheduled to continue on Wednesday. Laurel Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The City of Prince Albert is moving forward with an overdose prevention team. Council moved to approve a $3 million grant agreement with Health Canada to develop an overdose team. The overdose rate in Prince Albert is double the provincial average. The overdose prevention team will be made up of community safety officers from the Prince Albert Police Service, medical personnel from Parkland Ambulance, and crisis workers from the Prince Albert Mobile Crisis Unit. The grant will fund the startup and initial operations of the prevention team.
I'm hoping with, these and maybe a couple more initiatives in the future, they were able to actually see some data come out of these things and target these areas.
Health Canada has agreed to fund the initiative from September of this year to March 2027. Saskatchewan residents can now start booking their vaccinations for both the flu and COVID-19. Both vaccinations are available at public health clinics, pharmacies, or doctors' offices. Seniors, people with serious health issues or compromised immune systems, kids under the age of 5, and pregnant women are considered most at risk and are encouraged to get their vaccines as soon as possible. You can also have the option to receive one or both vaccines during a single visit. Appointments can be booked online at forflu.ca or by phone. Well, Canada's only synchrotron is helping researchers shine a very bright light on scoliosis research. Helly Mandrick explains how.
Scoliosis is a condition which causes curvature of the spine, which can be very debilitating for the 3 to 4% of the population it affects. A recent study conducted with the help of Saskatoon Synchrotron is examining how zebrafish can help researchers with early detection of scoliosis in children and teenagers.
They have organ systems similar to humans. They share similar physiology. About 80% of all disease-causing genes are shared with zebrafish. So it allows us to really model human disease states and understand disease mechanisms.
The Canadian light source is similar to an incredibly powerful microscope, which allows researchers to see the atoms and molecules that make up different matter. As a species, zebrafish are prone to scoliosis, and learning more about the potential causes can help with early detection and intervention in humans.
So looking at, for example, a zebrafish, looking at the spine of a zebrafish, because it's small enough, we can store in the laboratory. We can look at how the spine changes due to oxidative stress, and that helps us understand how a disease like scoliosis will happen in the human.
According to Saruna, there is currently no way to determine which children will receive a diagnosis or how severe the condition will become.
And right now, the treatment options really are wait and see. And when the curves begin to progress, we can apply braces, or the surgeons can do corrective invasive surgery of the curvatures.
While there is still plenty of research and testing to be done, Saruna is hopeful that these findings from Saskatoon Synchrotron have brought his team a step closer to a new treatment. A clinical study is currently underway at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto to see if these findings in zebrafish could be applied to humans.
What I'm hoping is that because we've demonstrated a simple, non-invasive, over-the-counter therapy can work in our zebrafish models, if this translates, it may be a way of actually preventing severe curve progression in patients.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Seniors took the spotlight in Saskatoon today at an event that was geared towards keeping those in their golden years informed about healthy aging. The event's theme, aging doesn't mean slowing down. It can be a chance to explore new opportunities and stay active. It's a long theme. Almost 1,000 people from across the province visited the event, which featured free blood pressure checks, manicures, pedicures, and information on topics like travel and housing.
Well, definitely through becoming active, socially and physically, that definitely helps. And seniors are living longer, for sure. So, yeah, I think their quality of life is getting better with all the services that are offered.
Organizers of the showcase, which is in its 26th year, hope to spread the word that getting older can mean discovering new possibilities.
Greetings, everyone. It's estimated over 50 million buffalo once lived on the Great Plains before being pushed to the brink of extinction. In a powerful act of resistance, a woman from White Bear First Nation and others walked on Dewdney Avenue pulling buffalo skulls, seeking a name change in recognition of the importance the buffalo once played in the area. CTV's Brittany Poitras tells us more.
Kekutue pulls 13 buffalo skulls down nearly 30 kilometers of Dewdney Avenue, a road that carries a colonial legacy. She says this walk is about recognizing the erased history of the buffalo in Regina.
This was a community that was alive with buffalo, and wherever the buffalo were, we were. And so, that history isn't shared. And people like Dewdney, made sure that wasn't.
Dozens of others have joined her to reflect on the colonial past of Edgar Dewdney, while also honoring the buffalo.
We're honoring the Tatanga for being providers. Our goal is in the future that name is changed to Tatanga, to honor them, and that is reconciliation.
According to those in attendance, the walk is also about support, awareness, and healing.
What we're doing is to better our community, to bring awareness to who we are and to who our people are, like Indigenous people, in the history that we've had, and especially with the buffalo around the city.
For Kekutue, this walk is a reminder that Indigenous history extends far beyond Canada's colonial documents.
The province of Saskatchewan is only 20 years old. Our culture and history and language and connection is thousands and thousands of years old.
Organizers say there will be more walks in the future and more push to change the name of Dewdney Avenue to Tatanga Avenue. Brittany Poitras, CTV News, Regina.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Still ahead, how did the Prime Minister's meeting go with U.S. President Donald Trump? And no jail time for one of the Freedom Convoy figureheads, Saskatchewan's Chris Barber.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Prime Minister was welcomed to the White House today for high-level talks on trade and tariffs. This was Mark Carney's second trip to the Oval Office at the invitation of U.S. President Donald Trump, and comes at a time when he's threatening new tariffs. Mike Lacouture has the latest.
With a firm but friendly handshake, Prime Minister Mark Carney arrived at the White House for his working lunch with U.S. President Donald Trump.
We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things.
In a 32-minute Oval Office meeting, Trump called Carney a great man several times, adding he's confident they'd work through the issues preventing a deal on tariffs.
He's a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants. And I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially. And I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too.
Trump says the two countries are in a natural business conflict because Canada and the U.S. want to make similar things on both sides of the border.
It's a tough situation because we want to make our cars here. At the same time, we want Canada to do well making cars. So we're working on formulas, and I think we'll get there.
Carney said the two countries are competing, not in conflict.
We are the largest foreign investor in the United States. $500 billion in the last 5 years alone, probably $8 trillion in the next 5 years if we get the agreement that we expect to get.
Following the meeting, the minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade updated reporters on how it went.
It concluded with the president and the prime minister directing us, me
me and my colleagues and the President, his cabinet secretaries who were there, Ambassador Greer, Secretary Lutnick, and others, to continue the conversation and to quickly land deals that will bring, we think, greater certainty in areas where the principal areas would be steel and aluminum and energy.
In a sign that work will be continuing, Dominic LeBlanc is staying in D.C. for the next 24 hours for more meetings. And this evening, Prime Minister Carney is having a working dinner with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Washington.
Saskatchewan's Chris Barber and Tamara Leach have learned that they will not be heading to jail. The two figureheads of the Freedom Convoy were sentenced to conditional sentences of 18 months by an Ottawa judge today after being convicted on charges of mischief. Judy Trin has the details.
Already convicted of mischief, Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, the two main leaders of the Freedom Convoy, arrived to hear their fate.
Lawrence, what do you think will happen today? What are you hoping for?
Hoping that Tamara doesn't go to jail.
A supporter was arrested before the judge even handed down her sentence. The trial has revealed schisms in society over vaccine mandates, but Justice Heather Perkins McVeigh said it did not factor into her decision. Politics has no place in this court and plays no role in the determination of what is a fair, just, and appropriate sentence, she said. For their role as organizers in the 3-week occupation of downtown Ottawa in 2022, both Barber and Leach were given conditional sentences of 18 months. It includes 1 year under house arrest and a curfew after that. Barber helped coordinate the movement of trucks. His lawyer says he won't appeal.
It was a lawful protest. She found that it turned into unlawful because of the blockage of the streets.
The judge took into account more than $55 million in police costs and the lost revenue for businesses, as well as the disruption of community services. But the court also acknowledged that both Barber and Leach did try to limit the footprint of the convoy. Leach had already spent 49 days in jail.
There were many people in the downtown core and businesses that were affected by the Freedom Convoy. She doesn't deny that. The question of was there remorse for what she did? No.
Leach's lawyer says they're still considering appealing her mischief conviction. Meanwhile, both leaders of the Freedom Convoy are facing a civil lawsuit. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
2 years ago, Israel suffered the deadliest attack on Jewish people since the Holocaust. More than 1,200 people were killed by Hamas terrorists, more than 250 taken hostage. The Israeli military campaign that followed the deadly attack killed nearly 70,000 Palestinians and has left much of Gaza's population homeless and hungry. CTV's Heather Wright spoke with two Canadians about how life has changed since that day.
For many, there is a before October 7th, 2023, and an after. 731 days since life changed forever.
I couldn't do anything physically. I was broken.
Reut Kadar grew up on a kibbutz in Israel and moved with her family to Canada 7 years ago.
Peace was a big part of my life growing up and talking about peace and learning Arabic at school and talking about sharing future. And I don't know that that's something that will happen when I get to see it.
Her family has experienced anti-Semitism since the war in Gaza began. A swastika was drawn on her son's computer at school, and her family tries to avoid speaking Hebrew in public.
Why does people associate me with the Israeli government? All of my Israeli friends who live in Toronto, none of them support the government.
For Noura Sharab, each day begins preparing for the worst.
Every single day you wake up, you check your phone and check if your family's alive.
Sharab lives in Mississauga, but has aunts, uncles, and cousins in Gaza. Last week, she says 12 relatives were killed while waiting for food.
They were standing in line and they were attacked.
Leaders are meeting in Egypt this week, negotiating the terms of a possible ceasefire. Sharab says the plan put forward by U.S. President Donald Trump isn't perfect, but it's something.
The first thing that is at the top priority for anybody in Gaza right now is the stopping of the bombs that is raining down on them. The fact that they don't know when the next safe space is going to be.
As part of these ceasefire talks, Hamas has said it is willing to release all remaining hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. But there are other parts of the American plan that could be non-starters. Israel has said it will not end the war unless Hamas disarms, something the terror group may be unlikely to agree to. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, anything can happen on live TV, even a marriage proposal.
Watch MasterChef Canada tonight right here on CTV Saskatchewan. Then join me tomorrow morning when we talk to the latest eliminated home cook about what went right and what went wrong.
Just take a second. Look how pretty our skies are when we start to see that sunset. Yes, the sun sets earlier, but still beautiful outside. A beautiful day in the Queen City. Temperatures warmed up to about 21 degrees. Currently sitting at 15. Winds are starting to calm quite a bit, down to about 15. Did have them gusting up to 40 late this afternoon. And we have nothing but clear conditions today into the rest of this week for sure. Now, if we're taking a look at what we saw over the last few hours, again, most of that cloud cover is stuck to the north. We did have some rain coming through the north. Nothing really happening in the central or southern parts of the province. That's going to change as we approach the weekend and actually more into the end of the weekend, but I'll show you that more so in your 7-day forecast. In terms of what's to come for the rest of the week, we're going to just show you what's happening out there. We do still have that cloud cover and rain continuing throughout parts of the north, heading into your overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. But as you can see, most of the province still seeing mainly clear conditions, and the winds, like I said, will start to calm a little as we head into tomorrow and into Thursday as well. And that's it. I have nothing else to show you. It's just going to be nice, clear, and sunny days right until we get into Friday and Saturdays. We'll start to see a little bit more of that cloud cover rolling in. As we just saw on the map, we'll see some rain in the Laloche area tonight. Temperatures, though, above the average for lows, which is usually hovering around about 0, -1. And then temperatures tomorrow, a little cooler in the Laloche at 12 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud, warming up in the L'Orange area up to 16 with a mix of sun and cloud, 14, which is right in that seasonal range for Lloydminster, and 20 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud for Prince Albert. And 18 mainly sunny for North Battleford, 19 and sunny in Saskatoon tomorrow, 15 mainly sunny in the Yorkton area, cooler tonight at 2 degrees. And then Maple Creek, 19 and sunny tomorrow, 22 and sunny for Swift Current, 24 and sunny for Moose Jaw over in the southeast. Similar temperatures there, 23 degrees. Right across the board. Weyburn, Estevan, and Assiniboia all seeing nothing but sunshine tomorrow, and clear conditions tonight with all those lows again above the average. Same for us here in Regina. Winds will pick up a little, up to about 40 kilometers an hour tonight, and then down to about 30 tomorrow, but 21 and mainly sunny for tomorrow, which is, I mean, we're nearing Thanksgiving, so we're going to see some very warm temperatures. And then as we take a look at your next 7 days, the weekend's looking a little rough, but let's go through it again here. 21 and sunny tomorrow, 16 and sunny Thursday. The low we could see drop below 0 on Thursday, but then warming right back up to about 19, 20 degrees by Friday. Sunshine there. And of course, Friday is the Rider game at Mosaic Stadium against Toronto. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. As of right now, the daytime high expected is around the 19 degree mark. And then by kickoff, it will be cooling quite a bit. And of course, the sun is starting to set earlier. So definitely warm dress and layers for that game. This is what I wanted to point out. Your weekend's not looking so great. We're going to have a 19-degree day on Saturday, winds picking up to 50 by Sunday. Temperatures dropping below average to 9 degrees. The winds picking up to 70 and expecting rain for most of the afternoon on Sunday. And then by the time we get into next week, Thanksgiving Monday, even cooler daytime high. 6 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, and Tuesday 5 and a mix of sun and cloud. So I'd say after Thanksgiving is when we start to feel the real fall weather arrive.
Is that a dancing turkey?
Is that a dance?
I don't know. I think he's going like this.
Tail feather. What?
Like, you're asking him what the temperature's going to be, and he's like, 6 or 7?
Well,
yeah.
okay.
We can move on now.
Yeah, we can.
For reporters in the field, sometimes the story you're sent to cover just isn't the one that unfolds in front of your eyes or your camera. Adam Sawatsky has more on coverage of a union protest that ended up capturing a union of a different kind.
They were seconds away from broadcasting live.
Yeah.
Rob in front of the camera, Orlando behind.
What's that?
When reporting on the first story in the newscast,
Kevin, striking public service workers
led to happening upon this last one.
But we have an engagement going on in front of me.
But Ella Van Enter didn't know that yet. She just thought she was visiting Victoria to show her boyfriend, Alex Benton, the BC Parliament buildings, one of her favorite places growing up.
And all of my best memories are here.
And over the past 2 years they've been dating, all Alex's best memories are with Ella. So he enlisted her sister and aunt to help with a surprise proposal here.
When she met him, it was like instant. He hasn't even ever seen her disability.
Ella has cerebral palsy. And while Alex fell in love with her sitting in a wheelchair, he recalled her saying she'd never want to get engaged in one. So he secretly arranged for Ella to be able to sit in a clear chair for his proposal, framed by flowers.
Took me completely by surprise. I was not expecting this at all.
Well, Rob and Orlando weren't expecting it either.
Orlando, 10 seconds there, everybody.
But they do know a thing or two about covering breaking news.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
So they juggled between broadcasting opposing political sides saying no.
What's that?
And capturing an exuberant Ella saying yes.
She said yes.
The whole thing is so surreal. Like, I actually can't even believe this is happening right now.
I feel amazing. Yeah, I'm so happy that she's happy and that she was surprised. That was a big goal of mine.
While the goal of journalists is to ask the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, the most important part of this story is how these fiancés answered why.
I mean, I love you. That's pretty much all that needs to be said, I think.
Congrats.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Still ahead, the Riders bring in an American as an option to solve their kicking conundrum.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
The search for a constant and consistent kicker continues in Riderville. Today, they signed an American kicker. Michael Hughes from Appalachian State made 35 of his 42 field goal attempts in 4 seasons with the Mountaineers and making all 120 of his extra point attempts.
Just another guy to get in. I mean, obviously, you know, we went Campbell last week. Potentially could be, truthfully, any one of the 3 this week, just depending on the decision we make. But, you know, we got to find a solution. So just having somebody else in the bidding.
Hughes was at practice today, although Campbell Fair did take most of the reps, with Brett Lother leaving early, still dealing with a back injury. Campbell Fair was 0 for 2 in Ottawa on conversions. Offensively, the Riders' 2 starting American receivers have really broken out in their sophomore season. Keyshawn Johnson, a former NFLer, and Dante Myers, who turned 349 yards in just 4 games in year 1 to a 1,000-yard season with 3 games to go. Donovan Mace has more on Dante's dazzling performance.
When Dante Myers first arrived in Saskatchewan last season, he kept expectations obtainable.
I was just focused on making a roster.
But now the sophomore has done everything but slump.
Quickly to Myers, finds a little bit of space, right up the middle. Now the race is on, and look at this burst.
Notching more than 1,000 yards receiving, while leading the team in touchdowns with 8.
This is my first time ever being a 1,000-yard receiver, so I didn't really have that goal in mind. It feels good to join some elite company. There's multiple guys in the room that's already accomplished that feat, you know, so to join the ranks with them, it feels good, you know, to model after their hard work.
Now, with injuries plaguing the Riders' receiver room, Myers has been a constant target for quarterback Trevor Harris.
When he came in the first few days, he kind of flashed a little bit, and I was like, okay, this guy's got something to him. The first 2 games, I think he went for over 100 yards, maybe 101. to be exact. And yeah, you knew he was kind of that kind of big playability.
He's just continued to get better each day, and I think that's what a lot of those guys in that room do. I've been very impressed, and hopefully that this is just the beginning for a guy like him.
Myers making the most of his opportunity.
First and many, baby. First and many. Come on, you just getting started.
With a slew of veteran support behind him.
We can feed off of each other. You know, there's no big I's and little U's. You know, we're all work together and we all continue to grind. You know, all of us can go for a big game. The ball gets passed around all the time.
Myers joins Keyshawn Johnson in the 1,000-yard club for Saskatchewan this season. And the last time the Riders had at least 2 American receivers hit 1,000 yards, 2017, when Jerron Carter, Eamon Roosevelt, and Bakari Grant all hit the mark. Donovan Mee, CTV News, Regina.
WHL, both the Warriors and Broncos looking to get back on a winning track tonight as the two are going to tangle in Moose Jaw.
Center ice, going wide left and then slowly making his way through the middle. Lakovic holds, scores!
Moose Jaw Warriors won their only meeting earlier this season 6-1 with Lyndon Lakovic scoring a pair of goals, including that penalty shot. Both teams sit middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference with 3-2 records. Puck drop is 7 o'clock at the Temple Garden Center. Also, Vancouver is in Saskatoon. Toronto Blue Jays can advance to the American League Championship Series tonight with a win over the New York Yankees in the Bronx, and they currently lead 2-1 in the second. And the excitement isn't just in Toronto. Fans in Saskatchewan are showing their support, hopefully for the team's first World Series appearance since 1993. Stacey Hine has more.
The Blue Jays are creating a buzz, and here in Saskatoon, fans are feeling the fever as the team pushes toward a spot in the American League Championship Series.
Really excited. It's been a great season. Nice to see everybody kind of getting behind them.
They've had an incredible season. I personally wasn't expecting it, so big surprise and pleasant surprise. They are doing fabulous.
The last time the Jays made it this far was in 2016, but a Sunday night grand slam from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the first in Jays postseason history, has fueled momentum.
It's just like the best kind of baseball to watch. It's like everything we've been kind of complaining about has all been addressed, and it's a pretty amazing time to be a Jays fan.
The surge in support is showing at this Saskatoon sports store. Jays merch is moving fast, and Bo Bichette and Vladdy Jr. jerseys are leading the way.
Huge upsell, specifically in jerseys. Lots of people that are coming in are going to games, so that's why I feel like we see the jerseys going the most.
And over at Sports on Tap, there's no shortage of interest, with fans tuned in and hoping for a deep playoff run.
It brings out everybody. The casual fan just want to see, be part of the action, to the diehards. So yeah, it's a whole different atmosphere than a normal Jays game.
While this team writes a new chapter, some fans are thinking back to the glory days of '92 and '93.
I'm old enough to remember when they won back in '92 and '93, and I actually got my photo taken with their 2 World Series trophies.
And if the momentum continues, that memory may soon have a sequel. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Coming up, the leaders of Alberta and BC are scrapping over a pipeline proposal.
Let's take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. We're going to see a lot of areas in those temperatures above the average range, like areas Melfort, Hudson Bay, 21 degrees. Outlook expecting to warm up to 22 degrees. And many other parts of the province still sitting in the mid to high teens. Wynyard just around the average range, 15 degrees, mainly sunny there. And then as we get closer into the closer to the southern border, those temperatures, many areas into the 20s, 23 for Assiniboia and Coronach, 21 for Broadview, Pilot Butte, Lumsden, 22 for Rockland, and Carlisle and East End Cypress sitting at 20 degrees tomorrow. A little cooler up in Kenora at 15 degrees. Meanwhile, Maple Creek and Leader all seeing high teens and a lot of sunshine for the day tomorrow. Taking a closer look at Southie, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel, warming up to 21 degrees, nothing but sunshine, but winds could start to pick up closer to about 40 by late afternoon.
A fight is brewing between Premiers BC's David Eby and slammed Alberta for pushing for a new pipeline to Canada's west coast, something Danielle Smith called un-Canadian. Saskatchewan's Premier Scott Moe has chimed in on social media saying the Alberta Premier was right. The NDP Premier of BC is wrong. Rachel Aiello has more on the spats and when a Prime Minister might respond to the pipeline proposal.
Alberta's Premier brought her push for a new pipeline to Parliament Hill today.
All it takes is the Prime Minister to say yes, and so I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get to that by mid-November.
Danielle Smith wants a bitumen pipeline from Alberta to British Columbia's west coast greenlit, but BC Premier David Eby has come out hard against the major project proposal, calling it a political creation that would put jobs and the coastline at risk. Today, Smith shot back.
I think Premier Eby's comments are un-Canadian and they're unconstitutional.
Eby then responded.
It's not the Danielle Smith show, it's the Canadian team. And we all deserve the same opportunity for the same federal funding for our projects as she does for hers. That's not un-Canadian.
Alberta's Premier said that in her brief meeting with Carney yesterday, he committed to getting back to her by mid-next month about the pipeline and Alberta carbon capture project and whether the Liberals are ready to repeal certain environmental policies. Today, the Liberals touted their approach.
What we're seeing is a number of premiers, conservative premiers, very excited about our goals to make Canada an energy superpower.
While in the nation's capital, Premier Smith also met with federal conservative leader Pierre Poilievre and his caucus. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A comment at the House of Commons made headlines this week related to international students around Canada. Damien Smith checked in with Saskatchewan institutions to see how the province is reacting to the IRCC saying that 47,000 students are living illegally around Canada.
A representative of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada recently told at the House of Commons that more than 47,000 international students across Canada may be non-compliant with their visas by not attending classes at their post-secondary institutions.
We have not yet determined whether or not they are fully non-compliant. Okay. These are initial results that the institutions provide to us.
Here at the University of Regina, some students who CTV spoke with, who were asked to remain anonymous, feel as though there is a growing stigma towards international students. The government of Saskatchewan says most of the reports of non-compliance come from British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec.
International students play a very valuable role. They help us address labor gaps that we have. They provide a stimulation to the economy. They spend $461 million here in Saskatchewan and create 4,300 jobs.
The government of Saskatchewan says that 88% of its students are compliant as of 2025, and that about 27% of its total of 54,000 students are international.
But it is getting more and more difficult because Canada isn't seen as a place to come for study anymore because of the policies of the federal governments.
In a statement to CTV News, the University of Regina says that it reports twice a year to the IRCC and is in regular communication with the organization. Saskatchewan Polytechnic also says it conducts 2 yearly updates and that support is provided to students at academic risk. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Alberta's teacher strike is now in its second day, and it's left many parents struggling to find childcare. For some, that means taking time off work. Others are enrolling their kids in camps all around the province. CTV's Tyler Barrow has more on the challenges that some parents are facing.
With the teacher strike, parents are left to figure out a plan for childcare. Julie Harrison works as a nurse and had to take Monday off to care for her 2 children.
Kind of rearrange my shifts around and, logistics are tough.
She's also looking after 2 other families' children.
I appreciate that, I can actually take some time and take other kids out.
While some parents are taking time off, others are turning to those who suddenly have some free time. 15-year-old Elena Stobart is spending the day babysitting.
I've been definitely getting a lot of calls and texts, just parents asking me to help babysit their kids because they don't have childcare to help.
At Pennovate DIY Art Studio, they are offering full and half-day strike camp programming. Employees have stepped up to help with the influx in children.
We have 2 full weeks of strike camps that are already listed. We're planning on adding a 3rd week right now.
As doors are shut at hundreds of schools across Alberta, the province is providing $30 a day for each student in an Alberta household under the age of 12. A free toolkit has also been created to help support students, providing weekly resources that follow the K-12 curriculum. Not knowing when their kids will return to the classroom is something parents are coming to terms with.
I'm supposed to work Wednesday, so we'll see how it goes. I might have to kind of shuffle things around.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Stock markets on the way down. The TSX dropped 180 points, while the Dow Jones dropped by 91 points. The Canadian dollar, did it follow the same trend? Yes, it did. Dropped 0.02 cents to 71.66 cents U.S. Commodity front, gold down, up $23.87. West Texas Intermediate crude down 82 cents. What Western Canadian Select crude went the other way was up 95 cents. And gas in Regina at most places, $1.35.9 cents per liter.
Canada exported far less in August than we did in July. The merchandise trade deficit hit $6.3 billion. Exports fell 3%, with Canada exporting a lot less gold to the U.S. and other countries. Exports of industrial machinery and equipment also dropped in a dramatic way. And of course, with new American duties kicking in, less Canadian lumber went south. The U.S. is investing in another Canadian company. Trilogy Metals is exploring critical mineral sites in Alaska. Washington is putting in more than $35 million. Trilogy shares soared today by more than 200%. The average rent in Canada is down more than 3% year over year, now at just above $2,100 a month. According to Urban Nation, rents dropped the most in Alberta and BC. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight, we have The Voice, another 2-hour episode, followed by High Potential.
Starting to miss the Big Bang Theory.
MasterChef Canada at 10 o'clock. We'll see how the local contestant does.
That's right. Well, a new book was released today chronicling the life of comedian John Candy.
What do you think? I hope we don't go to war.
Excuse me, stewardess. Is there a movie on this flight?
John Candy, A Life in Comedy, dives into his career and the private battles he faced away from the camera. The book by Toronto author Paul Myers features interviews with those who knew Candy, including Dan Aykroyd, Catherine O'Hara, and Tom Hanks.
Okay, I'm going to have to get that book.
Should be good. Then, of course, there's that documentary that came out at TIFF, too. So, yeah, it's great. The skies over Albuquerque, New Mexico are awash with color this week, drawing some major attention.
That's right. The city is hosting the world's largest hot air balloon festival. About 500 balloons from across the globe are there for the 53rd edition of the annual event. And they are creating a spectacular sight for locals and visitors alike. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to attend before the 9-day fiesta ends on Sunday.
And there was a grand opening for the new docks that are at Wascana Lake.
Yeah, these propylene, did I say that right? Well, we can't show you.
These special docks, yeah.
So the docks are stronger and more stable than the older wooden and styrofoam ones they replaced. The ramps from the shore allow easy access for wheelchairs and those with mobility challenges. There are also accessible launching chutes that allow much easier access into and out of kayaks and canoes.
I can see it.
You can launch a lot of boats from these docks, and you can pull a lot of boats. A lot of boats can come back in, and so it actually makes for a much quicker flow, easier access to their boats. The boats that are used in the championships are very unstable, so it really helps people get in.
There you go. There you see it right there. The docks are available for anyone to use to launch their own boats. Both local school boards regularly use the docks to take students out paddling. Just replacing those wooden ones that needed replacing. So, well, that was a cast. Hope you have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.